This is really dark. Take off a few of these bugs. Take off a few of those bugs.
How many?
Just take a stack like down to here. Leave this one. Leave this one. Just put them on the shelf there. Or the floor is fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't know when to start. Return this one. No. So, hi, I am going live for the first time on YouTube and second time for Instagram. And if you like my content, go ahead and join me on YouTube. You would go to Belongi Art, and it's right here on the board. So, Belongi Art at YouTube. So today, I said every Sunday I'll try to do a small art lesson. I am, like I said, I'm coming from an educator's perspective on kind of teaching and showing you something new. The reason I'm kind of starting a channel is because I kind of want to share what I know with everyone that possibly loves art as much as I do. So it's really to explore new materials, basically new lessons, and just do a little watercolor activity for today. So I'm hoping, I am trying to wait for more people to kind of log on here as well. But feel free to move over to YouTube. I have that going live right now as well. And I'm hoping this gives some educators some ideas if they're like, okay, what can I do in the classroom? This activity really, it can be for an elementary class. It can be for middle school students and high school students. So a lot of my lessons, it can be for almost any grade level. And then even a lot of adults. So I'm trying to branch it out to any age group, essentially. So I am gonna, I had a question. Someone asked me kind of what pencils do I like. I do like to work with different variations of pencils and pencils with different value changes in them. So that's basically like different darks and lights. I like to get the prepackaged kind of drawing set. So it'll have like 3 or 4 pencils. It will have an eraser, sharpener, even a few charcoal pieces as well to draw with. You have your compressed charcoal, and then you also have a few blending tools to work with. And I really think to be a true artist and to really get into drawing, you got to have your blending tools. I really believe in that. So I have that ready to go today. Like I said, it is a very simple activity, just like last Sunday that I did on Instagram. But basically, every lesson is going to be based on questions that I receive as an art educator in my classroom. So one question I get is, well, how do you work with watercolor? And how do you draw a flower? So something very simple, but I'm going to try to combine the two with form and then color at the same time. And I am kind of working up to this. I'm waiting for people to kind of log on and kind of find me here too at the same time. And I would love it if you want to see more material and more content every Sunday, that you do go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell on the bottom, because I am going to try to be consistent and do this every Sunday, because I would love to share my knowledge about art basically with the entire world. So that is my goal. So I do have a watercolor set today. It's kind of the same one I used last time with some variations of colors. You have your dark green, your light green, kind of a baby blue, and then a dark blue, yellow, and a silver. So same exact tray. Okay, and Nanny, did you see something? Can't open this. I had some scissors. So I am going to open this once someone hands me some scissors. Sorry. Go ahead and comment too. Like I said, it's my first time really going live, second time on Instagram. So I'll take any pointers or suggestions, or if you see something you like, go ahead and comment on it. I do love to work with Sharpies as well, especially the thinner Sharpies for detail drawing. So I have some of those. I'm just waiting on the scissors here. I might be able to open them without them. Okay, so I got it here. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. So as you see with pencils, there's different types of pencils. You have your HB, 4B, 2B, and 6B. So they do come in bigger kits than this, but this is all I'm going to work with for right now. So I have a few cups of water ready to go as well. So normally, easel. So a lot of the time I do like to work on the table flat, but for the purposes of you being able to see what I'm doing, I'm going to work on the easel for right now. So if you're just joining us, this is a YouTube channel showing different art lessons for whatever age group you are. So that includes adults as well who just want to learn something new about the arts. Okay, so I'm going to start with just drawing really a simple form. So I'm going to go with just doing a circle in the center. And then you're going to have your flower petals come out. I am going to go over this with a darker marker so you can see my lines a little bit. So a lot of students, they'll say, okay, how do you draw a perfect circle? It's a lot of practice, but the other way is you can find circles around you and just trace one. That's another way to kind of do a circle as well. And then there's many tracing tools to do this as well. So you have your flower petals come out from the center. If you, for the high school group, or if you're an adult, you want to make it a little more complicated, you may add some more petals that come out from the middle here. And then go out like this. Okay. Now, just so you can see what I'm doing here, I'm not sure, can you check this? So I'm just going to put some lines on here so you can see what I'm doing a little bit, because it is hard to see with the marker, the pencil. You want to make your petals kind of curvy and then come out. So it is all about kind of a steady hand when you draw. So if this paper was longer, I may do like a stem coming down and then some leaves. So it's a flower with no stem as of right now. So I don't have any paper towels right next to me right now, but you can use any type of cloth, especially when you are watercolor painting. You do want to dab your brush a few times as you're painting. So I'm going to start with the middle of the flower here. So the middle of the flower is going to be brown. So if you want the middle to be really dark, it's all about the amount of water that you're placing onto your brush. And that kind of tells you how how dark your color is going to be in the end. So I don't, as you see, I didn't dip the water, my brush in the water a whole lot. So I'm just going to start with the middle here. And just go slow. This brush is probably a little too big for the amount of space that I'm painting right now. I recommend if you don't have a lot of painting experience and probably work with a smaller brush. It's probably a good idea to work with a smaller brush for that area. So especially to get your edges and stuff and go around. If you're just logging in, feel free to comment. I do read the comments. So. So the reason this is a good lesson too, if you are a teacher and you want to use this in your art class, you can pick each petal, tell them to pick a petal, and then pick a different color for each petal. And if you want to integrate patterns with older kids, then you can tell them to create a pattern with every other flower petal. So a lot of people say, okay, I'm working with watercolor and it's just always so watered down and I can't seem to get it not looking so transparent, the color. And so that's all about how much water you're putting on your brush again. So you don't want so much water on there that it's dripping down off your paper, unless that's like an effect you're going for. But that's a different type of painting. That's kind of the drip method for painting. Okay. So as you see, this red is super red and it's not watered down. So that's kind of what you want. Pick another color. So I'm going to go with blue and you just keep going around. But I'm going to put this blue on the outer flower petal here. So if you are on Instagram and you would like to follow the YouTube channel, it is called Vellangi Art. You spell that Vellangi and then space art. It should come up. You can write some comments there if you want. I do like to hear from people, especially other people that have gone live before, if they have any suggestions or comments. I would love to hear from you, so that would be great. So as I go along every Sunday, lessons will get a little more complicated as I go along. I'm basically, through this YouTube channel, I'm bringing you basically into my classroom. I have been teaching for about 8 years and then 7 years at the preschool level, and then all age groups, including adults. So I am keeping the outside blue, it looks like. And I just made that decision as I was creating this. Was not planned out, but decided to go with it. Okay. Now, another thing you can also integrate is kind of encouraging whoever you're working with, and this could be parents at home. This is a fun activity to do with your kid at home as well. Encourage them to kind of make some of these petals go from dark to light, just like the tape art I showed you last Sunday. Um, and just have think of it, half the petal is dark and then half is light, and try to have them create it with the watercolor paint, which can be a challenge, but a lot of fun and success once they feel like they can do it. So I'll show you that. So you're going to basically dip your brush one time, get a bunch of paint on there, start from one side, and kind of slowly spread that paint out. Now, instead of keeping with the same tone, I would now take off some of the paint and dip it in the water and just kind of spread it out a little bit. And take what you already have and kind of work with it a little bit and pull it out. And as you see, it's now kind of turning from a red to a pink. And you can eventually go to a white too. It can go from red to pink to white. So, so these are quick, kind of 30-minute lessons. I'm hoping to eventually announce what I'm doing ahead of time, and then people can kind of paint along with me in the virtual world. And then you can have your materials ready to go. Maybe you're already painting with me. That would be great. Okay. And I'll finish up the last petal here. So I've noticed when I've done this with elementary students, they end up picking a different color for every petal. but then your high school students will definitely try to create some pattern within what they're looking at for their flower. And that's just kind of the creative change and development as you witness in the classroom. So there we go. Hoping you guys can see that a little bit. So I would take it a step further. You would paint the outside here. I always say have your foreground have a high contrast with your background. So if I chose light colors for my flower petals, you may want to just go all black in the background and really have this kind of coming out of there and coming out with a high contrast. Yeah. Another way to do something else with this is you can take charcoal. You could do a drawing over here that comes into the flower. So I've seen many variations of this lesson, and it's a lot of fun to do. So once this dries, you can also, if you're teaching high school or you have an older kid at home, you could have the background color show through a design. So they can then take this Sharpie and create a design within each one of these flower petals. So, and you would just put a small design in there once it dries, which I don't know if this is dry enough. I could try. And you would just have them kind of slowly put his design in here and get creative with it, which this isn't quite dry enough. But once it is, you'd have them draw into this flower. So, or you can try it too at home and make a wonderful piece for your house. So, like I said, quick 30-minute lessons just to inspire anybody that wants to log on and see a quick art lesson. I am hoping to eventually, in front of the camera, do plaster molds, plaster masks, also oil pastels. I love to work in those, and oil paint and acrylic paint. So all different types of materials. Like I said, this is for educators, parents, students, and adults, and anyone who loves art as much as I do. New lesson every Sunday. So if you are joining me on Instagram, if you want to find my YouTube channel, that would be great. And you can kind of join me there and write comments. And I'm hoping to comment back and we can have a conversation as well there. I definitely encourage, if you're an educator, to connect with me. We could share ideas as well. So it's anybody. I think I covered everything. Try it at home. I always tell students, have fun. I tell everybody that when you're doing art, if it gets too serious, then it's not fun anymore. So keep it fun, creative, and engaging. Please join me next Sunday for another art lesson. Like I said, these will slowly get harder and harder. I may do some tutorials that I'm just drawing with my hand as well. And you'll be able to see a full drawing take place through all the value changes, and I'll talk about what pencils I use and everything else. So thank you so much, guys, and join me again for the next live video. Thanks. Bye. Okay. 143 people on this side.
Somebody said like 1 for me.
What do you mean?
Whenever I look at the number of people watching, it said like 1.
For Instagram? Or were you looking at YouTube?
It's like on both.
Right.
It said a 1 person for me the entire time. I guess. I don't know. No, that's not the person's name.
Oh, is that their pre?
Yeah,
So it was just you?
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
the timing was too late. Go down. Yes. Well, people will see it. It was recorded, so.
You got it.
Oh. All right, bye.